Hello one and all, Musto0063 back. A little bit more Mega Man 4 for you. And you should know the drill by now, so let's get started. Any other introduction I tried to incorporate the word drill into just sounded far too dirty. The stage kicks off with my most hated Mega Man 4 enemy, the Ladybug helicopters. And backtracking is not the way to go. They'll just infinitely respawn if you do that. We also have some bog standard Mets. And didn't I just finish saying that backtracking is not the way to go? I guess if you feel like you have to avoid getting hit, then okay, but best avoid it if possible. Regardless, I'd much rather deal with jumping all day long. And yet again he starts a mile away from you, so hang back to the right and pummel away at him. Some more Mets, and oh god, this stage is just going to be filled with these bloody bug copters, isn't it? Joy upon joy. And this bubble bat section is a little random in the sense that you never know how long it will take for them to awaken. And if, like here, the top one decides to stay cocoon up for ages, then things can get a little dicey. I personally don't want to be setting off to the left until that top bat's out of the way. I just know if I try to make it over to the left before the top bat is awoken, he'll pick the moment when I'm standing directly underneath him to do so and leave me nowhere to run to. Unless you have a utility item to help, going for that extra life just isn't worth the risk, thanks to the low ceiling. And yes, it is going to be filled with the blasted things. And this time with the added concern of the spiked areas to stay well away from. These things are so damn annoying to hit it's not even funny, and I have to display some glorious dodging and or sliding skills just to navigate the area damage free there. Now these things are stupidly named Picasso 24, again catchy name you got there. Thankfully they only take one hit to kill, but as you can see here they have a really short window of opportunity to actually hit, and a lot of the time that timing is bloody awkward because it's also when they shoot at you. Stay patient with this section, take them out one at a time, and I'd recommend taking the bottom one out first. There's a free energy tank up there if you have a utility item and you want to grab it. Me, not so much. These mono roaders are rather annoying enemies if you don't kill them quickly. After a short while they'll ram themselves at you and deflect your pellet shots to boot. Trust me, when they speed up they are very hard to avoid, so kill them quickly. You have been warned. And the final screen is a bunch of these boulder dropping sections, easily recognisable because of the downward arrows on the shoot type areas within the ceiling. Boulders won't drop out of them unless you're standing in close proximity to them, so the tactic is to position yourself just to the left of them, shoot the boulder when it drops down, and quickly scoot on through before another boulder has the chance to drop. If the boulder hits the ground, it will break apart, and the boulder pieces will hit you if they make contact with you. It's therefore definitely best to try to destroy the boulders before they break apart. And you can also see that I need to flick some switches here in order to make the ground materialise. This isn't an invisibility trick or anything, like the ground is always there and you just can't see it. If you don't flick the switches, you will fall into a pit and die. So make sure you do flick them. Darn! My good luck charm for perfect runs. And I happen to be on one right now too. Will that cost me? Drillman's fight is often annoyingly long, because for large portions of it he burrows into the ground and disappears completely from view for around 4 seconds. And if he chooses to repeat this move over and over and over again, it just takes ages to get any hits in on him. Having said that, I do, for the most part, find Drillman pretty easy. And unfortunately, the way he just really irritatingly hit me there is about the only way I envisage him doing so. Getting me into a corner and jumping into me. Other than that, I would be disappointed to take damage to this guy. Now going back to his burrowing move, he will obviously re-emerge at some point, and although I will never be able to time perfectly the moment he pops up, I can safeguard against that. I position myself in either one of the corners, and after 2 seconds or so, I start to jump and move across to the opposite corner. If I keep moving, Drillman won't hit me. I do need to wait those 2 seconds or so before setting off, or what could happen is by the time I reach the opposite side of the screen, Drill still hasn't popped up and I've run out of space. But if I wait before I move across, it doesn't matter that I can't predict the precise moment Drill burrows back up. And enough with that move already. Jeez. Anyway, his other attack is to walk from one side of the screen to the other and fire drills at you. Once you get the rhythm down for this, I personally think it's pretty easy to dodge. You'll need to factor in jumping over Drillman at some point as well, but the timing always works out so that you can do so without getting drilled from behind. Cue dirty joke time. And thankfully for me anyway, it's the move he repeats at the end of the fight. It speeds things along nicely, and I almost never have any trouble avoiding it. That fight took over 1.5 minutes, by the way. my endless patience, I obtained Drill Bomb. It works just as you saw Drill Man use it, and it's a Mega Man 4 weapon that breaks destroyable walls. I also get Rush Jet, much less broken than in Mega Man 3. This time it is always travelling either left or right, and you can't cheat draining the energy bar either. So, the stage was cleared perfectly, and only had that one annoying hit by Drill Man. The Robot Master I've just told you that 99% of the time I have no problems with. A double to perfect run then, surely. Well, not far off actually. And based on my experience here, it perhaps won't surprise you to learn that the first screen was the source of a couple or so failures. It won't be the last time during a Robot Master stage that I have to mention these blasted bugcopters. They'll appear in one more, but suffice to say, I hate them. I think the mechs throw in a little added difficulty as well, as you need to watch out for them, probably more so than their pellet shots than anything else. The two in tandem are a little less threatening in the screen that we're about to see here, and I think it's the flat terrain that helps, as well as the fact that the bugcopters don't seem to spawn in while the mechs are still alive. Now this is ideally what I want to happen. The top bat awakening nice and early. Makes things so much simpler. I suffered a few setbacks when it remained fast asleep and the lower bat came into the picture. It just limited the available safe spots on screen, and eventually they closed the net in too tight on me. My issue with this is that it's all random. Now I suppose it's better than the top bat always being the last to wake up, but still, failure owing to the order in which something happens on screen is tougher to accept. Oh boy, many piss-ups on this screen. I don't think I really need to elaborate any further, do I? A couple of really freaking annoying failures on the Picato 24s. Once to the lower one, just completely mistimed jumping up over one of its pellet shots. The other to the middle of the three, having destroyed the bottom one. I screwed up the timing of my jump up, hit the middle one, and took a pellet to the face as a result. The Mono Riders also caught me out a few times. I didn't kill them quickly enough, and they rammed right into me. Here, they were nice enough to drop 2 Lucky Charms. We just saw one, and there's the second. And one final outtake on the before boss screen. Extraordinarily similar to what you just saw there. Only of course, the Helipon hit me at the time. Now don't dilly-dally like I just did there though. Once you get past the boulder, shoot, don't hang about. Get the hell away from it. I'll confess I was a smidgen fortunate there, but I still had enough time to get out of harm's way. So, my apologies, this fight goes on even longer than the Let's Play version. Over 2 full minutes this time, thanks to some breathtaking overusage of the burrow move. No, don't call me, you bastard. Anyway, this was indeed my first time attempting to fight him on a perfect run, and as I suspected, he didn't cause me any trouble. No, don't do that. And yeah, as I said, that is the only way that I would ever accept Drill Man hitting me. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the fight is more or less the borrow move, and I have nothing else to say. So, back to the boss music. Oh, come on, you git. So I repeat, not a doddle per se, but for the 5th completed stage in a perfect run series, you can't really expect anything much nicer. Not if you're going in anticipated difficulty order anyway. Half an hour was all it took to get the perfect run, albeit that was a full 10 minutes longer than any of the previous 4 stages. Around 7% of that time though was just fighting Drill Man. No, I'm not kidding. 14 outtakes in total with, for the 5th time, none on the Robot Master. What can I say? The Robot Masters in Mega Man 4 are mostly very easy, and we've still in fact got one what I would call easy left to come. I hate the bug copters with a passion, and this is a stage with the most of those sections in it, so I'm not going to deny that they can be a big problem. But then, apart from the first bubble bat screen, which I do find can screw me over a little if the top bat chooses not to awaken all that quickly, the rest is more or less okay. Any mess-ups I experienced that weren't bug copter or bubble bat related felt clumsy on my part than the stage being difficult. And Drill Man, at least I find anyway, is reasonably straightforward. I imagine most people will find the drill attack move somewhat tricky to dodge, but I just don't have a problem with it. You still couldn't have wiped the smile off my face with those set of stats. Maybe the next stage will finally do so. All that leads me to give Drill Man a 3 out of 10. He's harder than any of Dive, Skull or Dust, but not all that much so. The bug coppers were my main source of frustration. They earn a difficulty point all by themselves. The fact that it did take me the longest so far in Mega Man 4 to complete, coupled with the highest number of outtakes, earning the other extra point. For anyone out there who is thinking that Mega Man 4 is just going by far too easily for me, I invite you to think about the 3 stages left. Yes, this had been akin to a stroll in the park so far, but the remaining Robot Masters should pose a much greater threat. And the next one up will definitely ring in a change of difficulty. See you next time. Cheerio.